And then it'll go, Mr Bailey.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. For decades, caravan parks have quietly housed thousands of Tasmanians. They've been the safety net when rentals were tight and an option for people on fixed incomes or looking to downsize, and particularly elderly Tasmanians. But right now, those residents and the park owners who house them are in a legal grey zone. There is no clarity, no certainty, and no modern framework governing long-term occupancy. Decisions that affect people's homes and futures are being made under outdated laws that simply don't reflect reality. These residents live with uncertainty, and some in my community have been living in fear, and they live with the knowledge that the Tasmanian Government have left them exposed without the legal protection, security or planning framework that they deserve. I want to be really clear, this is not a sudden crisis. This is a crisis that the government have been warned about repeatedly, and one they have consistently failed to act on. Now, 18 months ago, before I was a member of this place, I brought a motion to West Temma Council calling on the Tasmanian Government to urgently modernise the laws governing long-term residents in caravan parks. I was asking for them to be recognised properly under the Residential Tenancy Act to provide clear protections and fair processes for these long-term park residents, and also to support park owners with a framework that actually reflects how parks operate in 2025, not 1985. And every single councillor around our table supported that motion, every single one, because we could all see what was happening. We could see that residents were living in limbo, and we could see parks that were trying to operate inside this legal grey zone, which was also very challenging for West Temma Council at that moment in time. And we knew that the Tasmanian Government needed to step up. And eventually, finally, the Liberals announced a review, and when they released the details, I noticed something pretty striking. The wording, the principles and the commitments were almost identical to the motion that were passed by West Temma Council, in parts copied word for word. Now, I didn't mind, I wasn't looking for credit, I was looking for progress, but today progress is sadly what is missing, because here we are more than 18 months later and Tasmanians are still waiting. The government completed its review, it held its consultations, it told residents and operators that legislative change was coming. And what have we seen since? We've seen evictions, we've seen stress, we've seen legal actions. It is still continuing to this very day. No bill before the Parliament. And what could have happened in this time was some interim protections, but this government failed to do that too. There was no clarity for park owners and no security for residents. The Attorney-General rose in Parliament last sitting and said we should finally see a draft in early December, so I hope that will happen this week, and then it will go back out for community consultation again. So that's more delay while some of Tasmania's most vulnerable people continue to live under the threat of displacement. And, Honourable Speaker, the hardest part is that residents have heard all of this before from this government. Some of those opposite were more than happy to visit these caravan parks during the state election in 2024. They posed for photos, they put their arms around residents, they gave them promises that help was coming. But what good is a promise if it's never delivered? These are not people with endless options. Many have lived in the same park for 10 or 15 or even 20 years. They've invested their own money into maintaining their homes, and they are part of the fabric of their local communities. And without legislative reform, they can still be told with very little notice that they must pack up everything they own and go. And we know the reality of some of these homes. They can't be moved. So they just need to leave their property there. Their investment is gone. And park owners are also stuck. Most are small business operators trying to do the right thing, but they're left navigating outdated laws and carrying responsibility without clear guidance. And some of these people are very vulnerable, so it's no easy task. They deserve some certainty too. Now, other states have already done this work. Victoria, New South Wales, Queensland, they all have modern residential parks legislation. They've recognised the reality of long-term occupancy and built systems that protect residents and support operators. Tasmania will be the last state in the country to protect people's homes, and that is not good enough. And, Honourable Speaker, if the Liberals had acted when they said they would, we wouldn't be here today. Residents would have protections and owners would have the clarity that they need, and this Parliament would have the legislation in front of it. I hope that happens this week. People have waited long enough.